Hi, myself Amal Mohammed, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Vedavyasa Institute of Technology. Today, as a part of lecture series, I am here to present a few ideas on the topic classification of construction cost. In construction project, the cost encompasses all expenses from materials, labors to equipment and overheads, ensuring accurate budgeting and also a project success. In general, the cost elements include labor, materials, machine, administration and other costs. It is not always possible to precisely define the various cost elements activity-wise, so that the project cost can be summarized under the heads of direct cost and indirect cost. Moving on to direct cost, these are the expenses that are directly related to the physical construction of the work. They include the material, labor and other expenses which can be identified with the execution of an item of work or activity. The direct cost includes direct material cost, direct labor cost and other direct expenses. Moving on to direct material cost, these include the costs that are connected with the materials. It can be measured item-wise itself. For example, the concreting requires the cost of cement, sand, aggregates, water, admixtures, etc. along with the purchase cost, transportation cost, fabrication cost, etc. Moving on to the next direct cost, that is direct labor cost. This includes the basic wages, overtime expenses and the allowances, benefits, bonus, insurance, medical, PF, etc. And the other direct expenses, these are in account of the services that are rendered during a work. For example, the temporary activity required for a specific work like erecting a scaffolding, platform, etc. It also include the special purpose plant and the machinery costs are also included in the other direct expenses. Moving on to the indirect cost, these are the expenses that are not directly related to the construction of the work in itself, such as it includes insurance, permits, legal fees, administration cost, etc. Or we can say that all the costs other than the direct cost are included in indirect costs. The range of indirect cost is in the range of 7.5 to 35% of the overall cost of the construction. It covers a wide range of items. It can be divided under the heads of production overheads. These include all indirect manpower, indirect materials and other indirect expenses incurred. Moving on to indirect manpower cost, they include salary and wages of the supervisors and other indirect workers. Indirect material cost, it includes tradesmen's tools, minor equipments and consumable materials. Moving on to indirect other expenses, they include general purpose plant hiring cost. Moving on to the next head under the indirect cost, they are external support service cost. These cover all indirect manpower, indirect material and other expenses of the functional setups concerned with providing technical and logistic support to the production center. For example, technical design and quality control services. It also include personnel and security services. Moving into the other head of indirect cost, that is administrative overheads. They contain indirect manpower, indirect material and other expenses incurred by the project management for the direction, control and administration of the project. For example, office management cost, technical management cost, finance and risk management cost. Moving on to the next head, that is home office overheads. They include consultants fees, legal expense, licensing charges, tax, insurance, etc. And moving on to project cost control. The project cost control, they focus on monitoring the status of the project, analyzes the variances from the baseline and determine the cost change and to take actions. The project managers apply those cost control techniques effectively so that to ensure that the projects stay within the project budget or are allowed to exceed the budget in a controlled way for specific reasons. Appropriate project controls, cost controls, they reduces the risk and receives the full benefits anticipated from the project completion. The project cost management, it involves the processes that is planning, estimating and controlling the cost so that the project can be completed within the approved budget. It include cost estimating, cost budgeting and cost control. Cost estimating involves developing an approximation or estimate of the cost of resources that are needed to complete a project. They include identifying and considering various costing alternatives. Moving on to cost budgeting, they include allocation of the overall cost estimate to individual work items. They also include establishing a cost baseline for measuring the project performance. Moving on to cost control. Cost control involves controlling the changes to the project budget to determine that the cost baseline has changed within the acceptable units. It also includes how managing the actual changes when and as they occur. Thank you.